And these brothers, man, it's something that I don't think people are like really aware of. I think people are somewhat you know knowledgeable about the space around us, or somewhat knowledgeable about the power we have. But I don't think a lot of people really take these earbuds out. I can't hear myself talk. I don't think of people really are really up on game as far as the power of our words. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think a lot of people understand, like, really what God is. Like, you have to understand that God is everything around us that's manifested, right? And God is also everything in this empty space that's not manifested. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing that's not God. And this stuff that's around us that's not manifested, we gotta understand that that's ether. We gotta understand that those are that the ether is the ears. I'm trying to get my screen right. The ether is the ears of God. You know what I'm saying? So when I talk about people who need to understand the power of the words, like, people have no idea how much the world is shifting just by the words they utter. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about everyday things that we say that we don't really think about, like when somebody says, "Hey man, how's your day going?" or somebody just asks you a simple question. You have to understand that the words that come out of your mouth that go into this ether are doing something. Like, they're doing something. You have to be aware of that, man. Because if you aren't aware of that, your life is going to be doing some things that really won't make sense to you. You know what I'm saying? You're putting spells and curses on your life and don't even realize you're doing that. So if nothing else, man, understand that this stuff around us is, and I've said it a million different ways, a million different times. Understand that, and I'm not even talking about thoughts, because thoughts are doing the same thing. Thoughts are going into this ether. But you gotta understand, man, the words that you're putting out about yourself, brother, are shifting planets. Man. So be cautious about what you say, man. Be cautious about what you affirm. Be cautious about what you agree to. Like for example, and I don't know who I was just talking to about this, man. We were talking about like relationships, and we were talking about like when a man and a woman are intimate. I was telling that brother, man, I said, you know what, like you gotta understand, like, a lot of like biblical spells and curses, of biblical times. You gotta understand, man, a lot of that stuff, a lot of those things take place during sex, and they still, I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube, but they take place during that intimacy. So when you and a woman are intimate, and y'all are going back and words and whose is it and do you love me and a series of other powerful statements, bro, during the act of intimacy, bro, you have no idea. You have no idea what you're doing. So all I'm saying, man, is be cautious of the word. Again, we're not even talking about thoughts. Be cautious of the words that are coming out of your mouth, bro, because they're shifting things. They're shifting things. Which takes me to the second point. Be cautious of the words that you're allowing to be spoken in your space. Meaning, the music, the movies. Like, of course, man, I'm sure every brother I know, man, has his time where he's jamming some trap or jamming some whatever, maybe during a workout. You have to understand that even if you're jamming that trap music, make sure that it's putting you at a certain state. Be careful about what's being said, because I'm gonna say this. I used to argue with people about, man, you know what? Any kind of music you want to listen to, you can listen to any kind of music. It doesn't affect you, until I went on a fast. When I went on a music fast for, I don't know, this was years ago. What, 30 days of nothing but jazz, nothing but classical. Man, when I put that trap back in my ears, brother, I was devastated. I didn't see this spot yesterday, man. I'm still at CCon, man. This is my found a little new coffee shop. And this is, I found another little art exhibit. I love these, man. And I swear for everything, they changing these up every single day. Because I didn't see this one yesterday. There's a big museum. They don't even call it a museum. They call it a cultural center downtown Bangkok. Yes, I love this kind of stuff. Downtown Bangkok, and they change it like once every month. I mean, it's mega. It's 4 or 5 floors, man. It's nice. But yeah, I like this kind of setup. I love this kind of stuff, man. I can look at this stuff every day, all day. But again, man, be very, get my screen right. Be very cautious of not just the words you're putting out. Be very cautious of the words you're allowing being spoken over you. Even like when people are going to sleep at night. And I used to tell this sister I dated several years ago. When we first met, man, I realized she was just going to sleep with the television on. And there's nothing wrong with that if you're aware of what's being played on that television. But man, she would just have, Nightmare on Elm Street and all kind of stuff just being played every night over and over for years and years. I said, that's doing a thing to you, right? I said, that's doing a thing to your environment, right? And she was like, nah. I said, you know what? And I brought the same thing up that I always bring up in the scenario. I always take it back to the, Masoto experiment. Maybe I'm saying this name wrong. I think I mentioned him in A Singular Truth, but I've spoken about him in different products that I have. The rice experiment, where the man spoke love and happiness into the rice, and on the other side of the kitchen, he spoke evil and negative and doubt and all that to the rice. And within days, both of those rice bowls were doing something completely different. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I first understood that, I would, and I haven't done it in, probably a year or two. When I bought my cases of water, and I'll buy my cases of water of like 5 or 6 cases at a time. Man, I would have some waters in my refrigerator, in my pantry, and I would set my cell phone on those in that room and play just certain types of music. I did that for years. I did that for years, man. I don't even think I ever told my son I did it. We bring them cases in, put them in that closet, and man, that first day or two, I had that cell phone there just playing that pleasant music, because water holds that stuff. The ether holds that stuff, man. So, brothers, all I'm saying is be careful of the words you speak. Be careful of the words and the musics and the movies you're allowing to be spoken around you. You know what I'm saying? What you're watching, what you're listening. Even going further than that, man. Make sure that the words being spoken. I was talking about this with my brothers in the Power of 3 this morning. We were talking about this. We were talking about. I think I was just telling them brothers how much I miss them, man. Because it's been some days since we met. We've been all been doing some traveling, crossing country lines. I think my brother EJ was in, I don't know if he went to Malaysia or where he went, man. So we just been moving, but we finally connected today, man. And I told them brothers, I said, man, it feels good being on this call with y'all, because we speak life into each other. You know what I'm saying? Brother, be cautious about the people you hang with. If they aren't speaking life into you, bro, like people can speak life and death. And you gotta understand, when you get in these intimate relationships, and when I say intimate, I'm not even talking about sexual now, because you can have intimate relationships with men, right? When you get in these intimate relationships, man, where y'all are having deep conversation and open up and talking about spirituality and maybe relationships and all kind of just personal stuff, you have to understand you're opening up a level of your sanctum sanctorum to those people. So you gotta understand, they're getting a deeper exposure to that God you. You know what I'm saying? Not always, never let somebody all the way in, but they're getting past a few veils to even have those type conversations with you. If those people aren't speaking life into you, brother, they're speaking death. And when you get that close to somebody that's speaking death, brother, you can turn your life around so quick in a negative direction, man. It's scary. It's scary, man. So be cautious of who you give access to, even that space close to you. You know what I'm saying? If they aren't looking at you and seeing nothing but light and speaking in that, speaking from light, and their energy is brother. Like you can only imagine what they're saying when they're not around you. And even when they're not around you, they're still in that sacred space. So man, it's a real thing, man. The power of words. Yeah, we talked about it in Sunday school growing up and all that kind of stuff, bro. But you gotta understand, if we're made in the image, then every single thing that comes out of our mind, again, we're not even talking about thoughts. We're not even talking about thoughts. Every single thing that comes out of your mouth is shifting something. I don't care what you believe. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care your race, your religion. I don't care none of that stuff. Your age. You have to understand, when you're speaking, you're creating. When you're speaking, you're creating. When your environments and things are being spoken, things are being created around you. That's why even if I'm in a room, man, even if I'm in a seminar, or even if I'm in a religious ceremony, like, you know, and I feel like this. I like my connection to God. I know that everybody's connection to God is different. And I can go and be a part of different religious things and have my own thoughts. But if it gets so dark, if it gets too dark for me, I'll just respectfully leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like I love going to, especially in the South, man. I love going to like the old Southern Baptist churches and hearing the good music, man. Like there's nothing like, let me step outside, see if it's loud. There's nothing like going back to Texas and hitting like my mom's church or like my aunt's church or like my sister's church and just hearing some of that and hearing some of that music that I grew up with, man. Some of that, you know, there's nothing like it, man. But when I'm in these religious ceremonies, man, and they get to talking about certain things that's just too much for me, I just respect everybody's difference and I'll have to leave. Because like for an example, like if you're getting to talk about, when you start talking about sacrifices and taking the prophets out and eating the flesh and drinking it, I'm out. With respect, I'm out. Because I don't even want that vibe spoken around me. You know what I'm saying? When you get to talking about anything, I could have pulled anything out. But when you get to talking about certain things, bro, like I gotta be out. And of course, I use that for, that's a religious ceremony. But hell, if I'm in a concert and the music gets too dark, I'm out, bro. Because I understand that the words being spoken around me are part of my ether, which means they're a part of my creation. So all I'm saying, man, is be aware of the power of words and govern yourselves accordingly.